Thank you for joining this webinar today. I will be giving you an overview of the significant new features we've introduced in the latest version of Lucidworks Fusion, our category-leading insights engine. This is the agenda for our webinar today, covering the highlights of this release. I'll begin with an overview of our integration with App Studio, enabling rapid search application development. We've tightly integrated App Studio with Fusion to provide you with an end-to-end workflow, from data acquisition to search interface deployment, all within Fusion. After collaborating with some of our user base, we've made significant improvements to the user experience of our Fusion interface to drive developer experience and productivity. These include the introduction of contextual help, autocomplete, and the ability to resize Fusion panels. With significant updates to our Fusion SQL service, we can now power analytics at an incredible, unprecedented scale. We accomplished this by leveraging the strengths and nuances of both the Solar and Spark SQL interfaces. I'll also touch upon the new data acquisition capabilities we've added. We are continually investing in developing to bring more data and signals into your Fusion search index. We've also introduced a new Connectors SDK to empower our customers and partners to develop custom connectors to any data source. Fusion 4.1 is powered by the very latest versions of Apache Solar and Spark. To begin, I'd like to show you the improvements we've made to allow you to rapidly deploy search interfaces using App Studio, integrated with Fusion. These improvements significantly simplify the developer experience from data acquisition to deploying curated, smart search interfaces. When we created App Studio, our intention was to help you quickly create bespoke, user-friendly applications to search and visualize your Fusion data. We here at Lucidworks believe in user-focused data experience. Your data only becomes valuable when people are able to understand what it means. An engaging user interface drives adoption and empowers users to navigate and understand and drill down into what your data is saying. Fusion App Studio gives you a comprehensive suite of modular user interface components to create beautiful search interfaces, optimized for every screen size and device. From essential search tools and page layouts to interactive charts, visualizations, and geospatial capabilities, your application will come together rapidly and exceed the needs and expectations of your end users. With Fusion 4.1, we've tightly integrated App Studio as part of the Fusion experience. App Studio is now included as part of the Fusion distribution, and this integration goes well beyond that. We've built an application deployment-centric workflow to provide users a unified interface from data acquisition to end-user search applications. Now, from within the Fusion interface, one can access our App Studio deployment wizard, utilizing our sample quick start datasets or your very own data. Our enhanced Quick Start wizard seamlessly guides you through data acquisition into the setting up of a starter search application, all within a few minutes. Here you can see I've loaded some data from the very popular Pokemon JSON dataset. Using App Studio's powerful markup, I have been able to generate a simple starter search application with facets and type-ahead capabilities in just a few minutes. With an integrated App Studio editor, it is incredibly easy to rapidly iterate and deploy changes to these search interfaces. Fusion App Studio provides a complete suite of search controls and interactive visualization charts to intelligently curate your data experience. This integration allows you to explore this suite of controls and start charts in a staging-like environment. We've also made it significantly easier for you to deploy and administer your App Studio search user interfaces. From Fusion, you can manage the publication of your App Studio interface, which are deployed as Fusion Web App Services, invoke the markup editor to iterate on interface changes in a staging environment before deploying to production, upload or download the WAR file for this interface to share and collaborate with, and advanced App Studio developers can download the Maven project for this App Studio interface should they choose to continue development in the IDE of their choice. We're very excited to bring this integration of App Studio with Fusion to you in this release. We are certain you now have the tool set to rapidly deploy numerous sophisticated, intuitive, smart search and discovery experiences to your end users. Data acquisition to a search application, all within minutes. I highly encourage you to download your trial version of Fusion 4.1 and let us know how easy it was for you to get a search application up and running. Next, I'd like to touch upon some interface improvements we made in Fusion. Our user experience team is continually working with our Fusion user base, exploring new opportunities to simplify using the Fusion interface and improve productivity. We've added a few new capabilities which we believe will improve developer experience, thereby reducing the time needed to develop with Fusion. These include the introduction of a contextual help menu, in-product autocomplete for Fusion fields and objects, and a centralized log dashboard for error investigations. With Fusion 4.1, we've introduced a new contextual help menu. This provides a unified search experience across the Fusion interface for three key elements. Navigation to Fusion interface screens, allowing you to quickly access the relevant screen for the task. Visualizing the Fusion object relationships and their associated links via the Object Explorer, and accessing relevant documentation links to assist with your development needs. This contextual help is powered by our new in-product autocomplete system, available on all form entry for Fusion fields and objects. Suggestions are driven by the unique relevancy of each field and object, so you're intuitively guided along the way as you develop your search experience. And a popular request from our users, we've also made the Fusion panels resizable, which allows you to customize your workspace to your specific development needs. In an effort to enable Fusion developers to investigate and debug system behavior, we've introduced a new centralized log service. This log service aggregates the Fusion Java, HTTP, and garbage collection logs into a unified system collection. We provided a new dashboard to allow you to filter, view, and analyze these logs. Each API request is automatically assigned a unique request identifier, which can be used to filter and correlate the event chain for better analysis. Next, I'd like to talk to you about the improvements to our Fusion SQL service. Fusion SQL is our extremely scalable and performant enterprise-grade analytics service that provides sub-second response times for queries across more than 1 billion documents. Our SQL service is powered by Solr and Spark. We leverage the impressive power of Solr's scalability, faceting engine, and streaming expressions, along with Spark's SQL query plan optimizer. We can now perform SQL aggregations, ad hoc queries, and complex joins across millions of rows in Solr in near real time. In Fusion 4.1, we've added support for enforcing row-level security to safeguard your data. We've also added the ability to authenticate via Kerberos, and we made some significant performance gains through optimizing the SQL service's push-down strategies. We're excited to offer you the opportunity to gain unique correlation insights for a 360-degree view of your data. With Fusion SQL, business analysts can discover, analyze, and visualize data sets of massive scale and complexity using the business intelligence tool of their choice. We've optimized for Tableau, Microsoft Power BI, and Apache Zeppelin, and any other BI tool with a SQL interface can be used to leverage the speed and unique capabilities of Fusion SQL. Now, I'd like to introduce you to some new data acquisition capabilities we've added to Fusion. We are continually developing new integration points to allow our customers to bring more data into Fusion, enriching your search index with relevant data and signals. The Fusion Spark SQL Loader is a new Fusion job that allows for data acquisition of structured and semi-structured data from various number of systems. These include big data systems and file formats such as Hive, Avro, HBase, and Parquet, NoSQL databases like Cassandra and Couchbase, in-memory databases like Redis and React, and of course, analytics data stores such as Google BigQuery and Azure Data Lake. It provides parallelized load distribution across a Fusion AI cluster to significantly maximize data indexing performance. We can use machine learning models and NLP techniques like parts of speech tagging, stemming, lemmatization, sentiment analysis, named entity recognition to classify, and analyze this incoming data. Leveraging the full power of Spark's data frame APIs in SQL, along with access to hundreds of user-defined functions, including aggregate functions, we can filter and transform this data. And of course, using Fusion SQL, we can join data from multiple Solr collections to create a complete 360-degree view of your data. We're extremely excited about the possibilities that the Fusion Spark SQL Loader offers to our customers. We can now use Fusion to derive sophisticated analytics use cases with minimal effort. In Fusion 4.1, we've expanded our capability of indexing data from an Office 365 environment by introducing a new Microsoft OneDrive connector. This connector has been built with our new Connector SDK, making use of Microsoft's Graph API. This connector allows for full and incremental crawling of users' OneDrive data, document-level security mapping, advanced content filtering, and limit rules to curate your index and your search index. And along with our SharePoint and SharePoint Online connectors, you are now capable of enriching your search index with relevant data from OneDrive in an Office 365 environment. We've also made significant performance and framework improvements to our Connectors SDK, which was first released in Fusion 4.0. With our Connectors SDK, we intend on empowering our customers and partners with a stable API to develop connectors to Fusion from any data source. Our Connectors SDK is based on gRPC, a high-performance remote procedure framework. This allows for the deployment of remote connectors, which enable scalable distributed crawls by lightweight Fusion connector clients, coordinating with cluster-aware hosted connectors. We provide a stable, extendable API to develop these connectors, which can be built in any language supported by gRPC. Over here, I wanted to show you a small sample of our diverse connector ecosystem. We have significant experience developing integration points to over 60 disparate data sources. These range from complex enterprise content management systems like Adobe Experience Manager, Confluence, Drive, and SharePoint, cloud data stores like Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, stream processing systems like Kafka. We connect to a number of the Hadoop distribution vendors. We have access to support portal information via our Salesforce, ServiceNow, and Zendesk connectors, and also code repositories like GitHub and issue tracking systems as Jira. We're continuously driving improvements across these connectors and exploring new ways to facilitate giving you access to all of this data within the enterprise. That was a brief overview of the salient new features in Fusion 4.1. I'd like to conclude by reiterating our intention on delivering user-focused data experiences. Your data only becomes valuable when people are able to understand what it means. An engaging user interface, powered by sophisticated analytics, drives adoption and empowers your users to navigate and understand what your data is saying. With Fusion 4.1, you now have all the tools within one class-leading platform to deliver beautiful, insightful search and discovery applications. We do hope you found this information useful. Please peruse over our documentation, release notes, and forthcoming deep dive videos to learn more about Fusion 4.1. And now for some questions, Andy.
So the first question is, with the App Studio integration, are you limited to the number of App Studio UIs that you can deploy?
That's a very good question, Andy. No, there are no restriction on how many App Studio UIs you can develop and deploy from within Fusion. Depending on your needs, you may want to deploy different search applications for a variety of use cases, a variety of environments from staging to production, and those can all be centrally administered from within Fusion.
All right. The next question is, how does the Connector SDK accelerate the development of connectors? In your experience, how long does it take to build a connector?
Okay. Depending on the complexity of the data source and the requirements for security trimming, we've been able to develop new connectors between 4 to 6 weeks. I think this is significant. The introduction of this SDK has drastically reduced our time to value developing these connectors.
All right. The next question is, does App Studio in Fusion complete integration with 4.1?
Yes, it does. Complete integration.
All right. Another question, in order to upgrade from 4.01 to 4.1, can we just put the new version in place, or should we export the app, spin up the new server, and import it into the newer version?
We should be able to use upgrade scripts, which have been made available last week, which will be, with that you will be able to export the apps from your previous version into the new release. The upgrade process will take care of exporting the apps for you.
All right. Will the OneDrive connector work with OneDrive for Business?
Yes, it does, and that is what we have tested and certified against.
All right. Can App Studio return an XML-based results page rather than an HTML-based results page?
No, we do not have that capability right now, but we are exploring means of allowing users to access more information that way. So it's definitely on our roadmap of sorts.
And does App Studio support high availability and fault tolerance?
Yes, it does. We have numerous deployment strategies which involve placing App Studio behind the load balancer. And these more details around this are available on our documentation site.
Excellent. Next question, can I trace the relevant logs for Fusion job from the new logging dashboard?
Yes. In the Fusion's Jobs Manager, each job has a unique request identifier with a link to the logging dashboard pre-filtered on this identifier. So clicking on that will allow you to drill down onto that specific job events.
Excellent. How much faster is the Fusion SQL stuff in 4.1? Has anyone done any benchmarks?
We've done our own benchmarks across a billion plus documents, and Fusion SQL was able to consistently average on a subsecond query time around 250 milliseconds, well below other SQL interfaces which were running into multiple seconds, or some even a few minutes as well.
Can App Studio connect to a Solar setup sitting outside of Fusion?
Yes, it can, but that is not a recommended means of deployment right now. To fully leverage the capabilities, we strongly encourage you to use Fusion's data store.
Let me do one more question here. How is the integration with streaming data and unstructured data in Fusion?
That integration is through our Spark SQL loader. So we have a Kafka connector, which allows us to ingest from streaming data sources as well. And Andy, the other data store you were talking about was a NoSQL database, I believe?
Unstructured data.
Unstructured data. So unstructured data, which is in NoSQL databases like Cassandra and Couchbase, we have access points and integration through our Spark SQL loader as well.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And if you didn't get your question answered, then we'll reach out to you after the presentation, get your question answered there. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, everyone. And to conclude, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you to Activate. Activate is a premier search and artificial intelligence conference dedicated to delivering smart search and discovery solutions with AI. This year, we're holding this conference in Montreal in October. It'll be packed with technical content, developer training, enterprise case studies, and networking sessions. You'll have the opportunity to learn how the world's largest companies leverage search and AI for building next-generation applications. And for those of you who have already registered, we really look forward to seeing you in Montreal. Once again, thank you, everyone, for your time today.